YouTuber we followed that this still shocks me. He did so much drugs that he lost feeling in his legs and he's now in a wheelchair.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Oh,
and yet now has the ability to walk, but still likes to get high and stuff.
Yeah, that stuff would you'd have to have people that cut that out of you completely.
Well,
I feel like, dude, you literally
Yeah,
can't
I was going to
walk.
say, I feel like if that happened, like that's got to be like the biggest wake-up call.
I couldn't think of anything else that's more of a wake-up call.
I couldn't think of anything worse, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Morokaii with 2 hours. We're back. We're on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. That is where you can always find us. We're reliable. We're there for you. We got you back.
I love that pitch.
And we're just always going to be steady, maybe a bit of up and downs, but never so crazy that we start supporting the Nazis.
Oh, jeez. He's gone there. We are talking about Kanye West, a.k.a. the gay fish.
Yeah. How weird was that?
It's he is
mentally ill.
Very odd specimen, to say the least.
Because I think back to when there was that clip where he was running for president and he was still with Kim, and he was crying his eyes out. Do you remember that clip?
Yeah. But he's just done ludicrous, ridiculous, obnoxious shit all the time on Twitter, Instagram. Like he'll randomly like leak messages and all that. Then he's saying like Kim K and I can't even think of the mum's name from the Kardashian family.
I can't either.
But like all of that's it. Yeah, like they're all like taking his children and he doesn't get a say in where they go and he doesn't want them in magazines and all that. And I'm just like, surely this can be sorted out without screenshots over Instagram and Twitter. Like it's, I think that's something that's that's your private life, mate. Like you don't need to share that with us. Like
some people are obsessed with sharing that stuff all over their socials.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to look like the good guy. Maybe they want to make sure they get their point across. It's weird. It's same with divorce. People that get divorced, they feel like, I've even witnessed this in my life, where one wants to make sure that they look like the good guy and all the opposite person's friends know that they're the good guy. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I was like, that person that you're divorcing, their friends are going to stick with them no matter what. Even if they're in the wrong. Why do you need to...
Yeah, you don't need that like validation.
It's weird. Some people do.
Yeah,
it's important to them.
It is, but I don't know. But this... Well, Kanye, like that has got to. I would think that it's a nail in the coffin for him.
No, I think when people are that crazy and they don't care like he's doing, I don't think he can get cancelled. I think it's like what we've spoken about before. I think it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird for a bit because he did. If anyone didn't know, Kanye West went on Alex Jones' show. Alex Jones talks about everything and anything to do with controversies, the government, conspiracies. He is the one that you might have seen. It said that Sandy Hook, a school shooting, was a hoax. And then all the parents, they rallied up and made it. They got a big court case against him to say, like, this is so disrespectful. There's heaps of details in it. Anyway, lost that. He's had heaps and heaps and heaps of controversies going on. He's always on Joe Rogan. Yeah, he's always on Joe Rogan. It is insane that they're in the same room and Kanye West has made him look like the crazy person. Yeah, Alex Jones is known as like the wacky, like, don't get me wrong, some of the things he says, like he talked about Jeffrey Epstein's Island a long time ago, like ages ago.
Before it was made like as big as what it is.
And he was right. But there's also a lot of things like saying a school shooting's a hoax.
Well, yeah.
Dead kids, there's a line that can be crossed. So, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. Anyway, so Kanye West went on his show, mate, started saying the most ridiculous shit about how he loves Nazis, how he's accepting of everybody. He thinks the Nazis and Hitler had some good ideas. He likes Hitler. And even Alex Jones tried saving him, being like, no, you like their uniform. I get what you're saying. You're like, no, I like Hitler. I like Hitler.
Yeah, that's... there's no words. Like
in my head, I'm like, there is actually something deeper to this. Maybe he's deliberately pissing off some higher power we don't know about that has a lot of control. I do believe, I can't dive into it because my brain can't comprehend it. I do think there is a bigger power
like the
controlling.
elites sort of thing that you see, like you can hear about a lot on the TikTok. And
I literally think there's people controlling what we see, what we do.
Yeah, what the media portrays and all that.
And when you have such a big amount of money, say like Elon Musk, where he now owns Twitter, and I don't know if you saw this, he's releasing a lot of documents about Twitter that Twitter was holding back and controlling some of the media when it came to higher up politicians. Anyway, it could be that that's like an FU to that. But that's on the extreme for me.
That is very extreme.
I see him as just a mentally ill person.
Yeah.
Who's had a couple of good ideas. He's a great songwriter. In a way, he's a genius. But I also think he's
I always look at Kanye West as a very strange but somewhat unique individual. Some of the stuff that he says is very outlandish, such as what's happened on this podcast. But then there's other stuff as well that it's like, well, he is living the lifestyle of the rich and the famous. Like, he's seen the ins and the outs of, like, all of his stuff. Like, all right, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, for example. I know that's a really popular show, but, like, how much shit have they done just for the show to get these views, these hits and all that? Where, say, Kanye West is like, I don't agree with this. Like, you shouldn't be, sort of thing, like, and all that. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of things, and like, even with Kanye West, like, speaking a bit out about certain things, he does make you question a lot of this elite, higher up beings that maybe we don't get to see as our normal day-to-day sort of just humans at the bottom of the hill, sort of pyramid.
They have a bit more control. It's strange because that's so disrespectful to so many people. There's making jokes, and then there's just flat out the disrespect. And it was on another level. I haven't seen anyone of that fame say something that outlandish before.
Oh, I haven't.
I've seen that some people get caught saying things behind camera.
Yeah.
That might be a joke, but never just straight up, I like Hitler.
Well, yeah, I think like the
Nazis.
worst that I could think of, like a celebrity, is maybe like the Miley Cyrus sort of breakdown, I guess, / like the Britney Spears breakdown. But like, that makes that look like nothing compared to what Kanye West has just done.
There was a girl that was very similar to Hannah Montana that had a massive breakdown, and she was like the it girl.
Demi Lovato?
No, not Demi Lovato. She's gone. She's weird. Yeah. Same with Gabby Hanna. They've both gone so strange. It's the girl that played, I think the movie was called She's the Man, and it was about a girl who was pretending to be a guy.
God, oh wow, yeah, oh my God, I know exactly. No, I know, because I remember that movie really well, and she was another one who came onto my TikTok feed, and what she is today,
something Emily
Amanda
Barnes,
Amanda Baines or something like that.
Amanda B something.
Amanda something, yeah.
Yeah, she was like the it girl, the girl next door, the great actor. She was in everything. I think it was drugs, and the change in her is drastic.
What's the same as there's like leaked images like Cara Delevingne as well, and like it's just like, what is whether it's Hollywood doing this, like the people that like, you got to think about it though, because like that Amanda, that when she was popular, like she was pretty young.
Yep.
So it's like, well, what if her parents like / like her agents like pushed her to, and all that, like that we don't see. And I'm not like Kanye West is clearly an adult, like, and all that. So
yeah, he like. Well, I find this interesting. So obviously they have a high amount of access to all drugs, whatever they want to do. I even remember going clubbing with someone, and they said they worked at a bar in Melbourne. Justin Bieber came in and he said, look, I actually got to go backstage with Justin Bieber, like just to the top room. He's like, mate, he had chicks galore, could talk to whoever he wants, and he actually had someone with like coke ready to go on like a little tray. Yeah, he's like pure cocaine whenever he wanted. He could do as much as he want, no matter what. You can see how if they have access to all that, no matter all the drinking,
it's a completely different life.
It's a completely different life where they could get addicted because that high is next level. The other night, right, when we did episode 100, we obviously had a drink, bit of a smoke. The next day, I was ruined
Yeah.
Like, my whole next day was like wasted. Don't get me wrong, it was funny. I watched it back and I laughed at the fact that we like ate ice cream cake and just for 20 minutes talked about ice cake.
Cream, yeah.
Like, and there's a couple of things where we looked at each other and we were just laughing, and it was good, don't get me wrong. But the next day I could tell there was a massive difference. I think there is such a huge divide between eating healthy, working out, feeling good, not having any negativity in your life with your relationships or with your friends, and being successful in your job, but also chasing new things. I think that high can literally not be beat.
Agreed.
But you can keep chasing that high with the drug addiction.
Oh,
and
most
alcohol.
definitely.
But that, oh my God, you feel shit
the next day. Though, it's not even worth it.
I remember the big nights that we used to have. It used to take me about 3-4 days to recover. Like I wouldn't be,
and it's just a weekly cycle as well. Because by the time that you're ready, like you feel mentally like ready to go again, you're pretty much planning like the night out again.
Yeah, there's a celebrity.
And it's that rinse and repeat. It's like,
there's a YouTuber we followed that this still shocks me. He did so much drugs that he lost feeling in his legs and he's now in a wheelchair.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Oh,
and yet now has the ability to walk, but still likes to get high and stuff.
Yeah, that stuff would mean you'd have to have people that cut that out of you completely.
Well, I feel like
dude, you literally.
Yeah,
can't
I was going to
walk.
say, I feel like if that happened, like that's got to be like the biggest wake up call.
I couldn't think of anything else that's more of a wake up call.
I couldn't think of anything worse, man. And then to know that like I can gain now after like the best part of like a year, 2 years, so I can actually walk again. I'm going to go back to the thing that made me not. No.
Some people don't get their wake up calls. There was a guy, I worked with a girl, and her guy she was seeing, he would do tattoos at home, and he did one on his leg, and he had to go to hospital because he got ink poisoning, and he nearly lost his leg.
Oh, Jesus.
I haven't followed her up. I don't know her anymore, but in my head, I'm like, that better be the biggest fucking wake up call ever to not do tattoos at home anymore.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. And then there's, the other side. Like, I remember there used to be a female that used to, we used to go clubbing with. Like, they worked at the club. They were driving home, like, on drugs or whatever, had a bad car crash, had to learn how to walk again and all that. And they've turned their life around like a complete 360, like, full fitness, PT now, like, just killing life and all that. And it's just like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't get how...
Some people never get that wake-up call.
Yeah.
Well, they never get that second chance or that scare moment where they're just like, nah, there's more to life than this. There's way more. It's a bit weird. But back to Kanye, I just think it's mental illness. I honestly think he's been in the scene too long. I just, especially if sometimes he'll do an idea and it might take off. And then you go to a TikTok, YouTube, comments are just filled, you've been sleeping on Kanye. The guy's a visionary.
Yeah.
The guy's a visionary. Oh, you guys don't know. He's just a genius. The guy's next level. And it's like, I think that sometimes he gets some hits and other times he's actually fucking ill.
Well, that was like for his album release at Donda. This album was meant to release ages ago. Nothing happened. Then it was like the only way that you can listen to Donda is by purchasing like some music player thing that he himself created or whatever. But this music player was like $300. And that was like the way that you had to listen to like the album. And then before the album was released, he had like all these different events where like at stadiums, and he was like sleeping in a stadium for like a fortnight in just this like white room with like just a bed, a small TV, and like some food. And the guy is just completely bonkers.
He is.
He's completely bonkers and all that. And obviously he needs some serious help and all that. But then.
I feel like someone like that would have so many yes men around him.
But then, the scary thing is some of the things that he said, while we look at it as outlandish, is there any substance to like maybe some of the stuff that he's preaching and saying actually holds some sort of I'm not saying everything with the Nazis and him supporting Hitler, but in the past, just some things that he said. Because I know, like watching some TikTok clips on all that where like he's spoken out about like certain celebrities or like Hollywood itself and all that, it does go like, I feel like there's a bit of a rabbit hole here that like they don't want us to know.
See, I agree with you, but that's what makes the Nazi and Hitler stuff ever more confusing.
Yeah, well that's,
it
throws it.
There's some stuff where even someone who's, you can kind of maybe grasp at something. Where there's like, well, maybe if you really, really think about it, he has a good point here, all right? Maybe if he said, listen, people, ice cream, it actually comes out of cows' udders. It does. It does, okay? And everyone goes, it's crazy. There might be some people that go, technically, there's a way to make it happen and really deep dive.
Yeah.
This Hitler Nazi stuff just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just great. Well, he's
no
lost everything,
fucking
man.
sense.
Like, Adidas have dropped him.
Like someone as rich as him couldn't care.
Oh, well, probably not, because he could seriously just make his own thing and people will jump on it.
Yeah, they would.
And all that, like, no matter what. Because it's Kanye West, man. Like, he holds such high value and all that. But, yeah, I don't know. I just an interesting... I just can't believe that... Because he already had, like, the I can't even think of the right word. Anti-Semitism? Semitism, yeah, against, like, the Jewish people. And then he's gone even crazier again to make those claims and those statements. And it's just like...
Oh, do you know what I've seen that's going nuts? You know, I think it's Mia Khalifa, the porn star.
Yeah.
You know how she got extremely famous for wearing, like, I'm going to mispronounce it, so I apologise, but the Habib or something?
Hijab or something like that.
Yeah, she obviously did a pornography with that, wearing that, went nuts. She got extremely popular. There was clips coming out because I think she was on a podcast. She's also made a new clothing line.
Oh, right.
That is somehow in reference to the Muslim community, because I keep seeing TikToks where they're getting furious because the name of her new clothing brand or whatever brand she's made is somehow
disrespectful or something like that.
A knock to them in a way, like another backhanded compliment, but not. It's in a way.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
They're extremely mad because they're like, you've disrespect. Like, this is a next level of disrespect that you did the pornography in.
Yeah, gotcha.
And now you're creating a brand where there's maybe the name is somehow a little bit disrespectful. Anyway, she's obviously built her career off that. This pisses me off. I can get exactly where they're coming from. This pisses me off so much, especially with porn stars. When they start going off about things like, her quote was, I think there's something seriously wrong with men that date younger women. I think it's not on. They need to get their head checked. When she was literally in pornography with older men.
Yeah, true.
Doing porn with older men. Like, some of them make no sense. Especially with their background. I don't get it.
You are spot on.
So they're all up in arms about that. And it's so true. How could you... Just hurts my head. If you're in that industry and you've been going nuts and you're more so reaping the rewards of that.
Yep.
Right? You're now rich, famous, can do whatever you want with all this money. Money is over the top. And then you have the nerve to say men shouldn't date younger women. That makes no sense. If you were an unsuccessful porn star and you really rode out through the porn industry and you were struggling, really had some bad experiences, maybe I'd listen to you a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But Mia Khalifa made maybe, I think, 20 pornos and she got out of the game. She just did OnlyFans.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. She didn't do a lot of content. The content she did was just so sought after.
No, you're spot on.
So she kind of had the premium ride when it comes to porn. She's not those girls that are doing like jobs for $200 a pop and going through and just going, I'm seeing the real dark side of it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd listen to them more, the ones who aren't successful, and be like, no, I think there's a problem here and here. And this is
in
how
that
it is.
industry, yeah.
This is just a stuck-up girl who got lucky and now thinks she's got the most best opinions because she's in a better position.
And then because she gets hit up from like all these athletes as well, she thinks she holds some sort of value and or substance.
I think that is a lot to do with it when even TikTokers or influencers, they get hit. It's the same with what we were talking about with food influencers. Is it food? Well,
foodies.
Foodies. They go to restaurants, and if they're constantly getting hit up by restaurants saying, hey, can you come to our restaurant this Saturday? We'll pay for your food. We'll pay you $100 to come and eat our food, or even more. Then they get stuck up when a restaurant doesn't offer them food.
It's almost,
And these girls and guys are so stuck up because they're getting constant DMs in their inbox that they just feel entitled to say things that just are so out of pocket and they just have no experience on. Then it's just like, can you really say that? Everyone has a right to an opinion. Everyone can say what they want to say, but when you're saying something with so much conviction, when it just makes you look like a hypocrite, that's what pisses me off. Everyone can have an opinion and everyone can say their piece, and possibly they might be wrong.
Yeah.
There's things I've said that are probably wrong. They don't make any sense. But as long as you're not literally being the biggest hypocrite on earth.
Correct. No, you're spot on.
I feel like that's the worst one, being a hypocrite.
Spot on. You still have to like let people like say how they feel and
they never get questioned on these podcasts either, though.
You don't have to agree, and I don't expect anyone to agree with it. Half the stuff that we say on this, but you also have to be open and open to like what we're saying. Well, we're not always going to be correct, nor should we.
Well, you know what I'm worried about? When we end up getting guests, like when we start growing and maybe inviting guests
venturing down that avenue.
I'm always wondering why on these podcasts some of these people don't get hit up with harder questions, especially if they've talked about it before.
Yeah,
they've mentioned it and they're like, why do they do this? Or they've talked shit about them, and then they get on the show and they're as nice as pie, and then they dumb down or really make a light version of what they've done to them.
Yeah.
Like, real quick before we go, H3H3.
He's everywhere at the moment.
I don't think he's entertaining at all. I think he's disrespectful. I do not like him, and I don't understand how he got to where he is today. I feel
like he's just a leech.
He is. And
he just constantly uses people to get himself. Like, he reminds me of back when I was doing YouTube and all that, in like that whole gaming scene. People would always be like, I want to collab. But as soon as like they got more subscribers than you were like a no one to them.
Yeah.
You were forgotten about. And I feel like he's done exactly that. And he's
Hamster. He invited Hamster to his show. Yeah. Again, was nice as anything. And the minute he's gone, now it's talking shit.
Yeah, that is, in my personal opinion, one of the worst type of human beings you could be.
I agree. And
all that. Like, if you actually have an issue, raise up with them then and there. He was at your house.
Well, that's the same with he was a bit of a dick to Bradley Martin, a fitness influencer. Bradley Martin got on his show and he was really nice and just calm about the situation. I'm not saying get angry, get furious, but be real with it.
Yeah.
Don't, okay, let's just say you talk shit behind my back. We meet up, we're on podcast, and I'm like, yeah, no, look, I'm just a bit upset. Like, I know you called me this and that, but I can kind of get it because I was doing this and I was doing that and I was doing it. Because you want to play nice, guys. I want someone to just literally sit down and be like,
proper.
Bro, you said this about me. It hurt my feelings. I'm not going to put it on myself. You were just a dick.
That's a great one because, and I know we won't say too much longer on this because I know we've got some stuff to get through, but even like the Impulsive today, I saw that Banks is on it.
Yep.
And they've got Jake Paul and Natola, and I'm intrigued to see if Banks really does go like, you know what, like, no, because I feel like he's a very straight up, that's who he is.
Mm.
But then at the same time, like, Logan's there, like, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to hold back. Granted, I haven't watched it yet, though.
I'm worried that if we grow, there must be something about it. Maybe that you've finally got him on the show. Maybe before the show starts, you talk to him a bit. Maybe you squash some beat. I don't know if that's part of it. But let's say we have someone on the show and they say something a bit out of pocket or say something against us, and I want to be able to not be in that podcast mode of trying to be too happy-go-lucky, and if there's something that needs to be said, say it.
Yeah.
And not be like, oh, I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah. But I think it might be hard in that podcast space where...
It could be, but at the same time, if there's actual drama beef there, then, like, don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you wanted the podcast to... If you seriously wanted the podcast to take off and do bits and numbers, the best thing you could do would be real and raw.
Mm.
If you're playing the nice guy, people are going to be like, oh, I came here expecting there to be like some heat.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be coming on here to expect like us to make up. Like,
I've seen interviews like that all the time where it's like, what are you doing? You had him there with all the questions ready and you just...
You bitched it.
You bitched it.
Like, yeah, you didn't ask the hard-hitting, proper questions that the viewers and all that wanted to know.
Yeah, that we tuned
you actually
in for.
straight away because you're almost too worried that, that could cause more things and all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Morokaii with 2 eyes. We'll see you in the next one.